Hey Nevin, how are you?
Good. How are you, Heidi?
Pretty good.
Oh, good. How was Easter?
Oh, my birthday was actually on Easter, which the last time that happened, I was a third grader. So
Well, happy birthday.
thank you. Yeah, it was good. I got to actually play out in my sewing studio, so I was happy.
Nice.
How
Well,
about you? Anything?
just went up the valley to Corvallis with my mom and my little sister for Easter. It's one of the holidays that we feel obliged to celebrate. Although I think this was actually the first year that mom just didn't do any baskets for anyone, which is that was a landmark for us.
Oh, was
I
that
know.
hard?
I mean, to be clear, I still got all the Easter candy. I just didn't get it in a basket. It was my
Oh, funny.
yeah, my childhood Easter baskets, like over in the kitchen, and it's got all my onions and garlic and other alliums in it. So I've
I
grown
love
up.
it. That's great.
Mhm.
I actually live in Florence, so I'm not far from your mom.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Susie Lane. She teaches yeah, she teach well. No, she's switching grades this next year. So actually, I have no idea what grade she's teaching, but over at Victor Elementary. So she's one of the teachers over there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, I get up the valley every once in a while, and I usually have reasons to be in Corvallis or Hamilton. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know there seems like there's a bunch of signs going up for the levy election, which is a fascinating little thing to watch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi, Jen.
Hello, how are you?
It's pretty good. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Jen, how was your Easter?
My Easter was just fine. Thanks for asking. How was yours?
Oh, it was great. Got to spend some time with the immediate family, which is good.
I did not realize yesterday was Easter, and then I went around town and tried to do many errands, and it became real clear that it was a big holiday.
Oh yeah, I admittedly that's the one thing that I can't stand about all these bank holidays is businesses being closed because I rarely get the free time for errands. So
I know, and I had a lot to do yesterday, and it was not as productive as I had hoped. But that's okay. I hope people are at home with their families.
Oh yeah, and
Hi,
that's
Joel and Tyler.
Oh, right. You're going to hurt yourself with this.
Joel, please don't hurt yourself.
Oh, did you hear me say that?
I'm afraid so.
It's when I plug the earpiece into the microphone, it's so loud. Oh, that's better. Oh, so that's what I said to myself. You're going to hurt yourself with this. And then I plugged it in. I was like, ow.
Oh, terrible.
All right. Okay. It lives up there. Well, good. Now here we are, a little oily, slightly oily. I think, right? No, it's dead on 4.
I mean, I thought I used an appropriate amount of conditioner, but early. I see. Sorry, I
Oh,
can
I've
hardly
lost sound. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
loud and clear.
Yes.
I can't hear anything that you guys are saying.
Oh, terrible.
We can hear you. Oh, it doesn't matter.
And we
Tyler,
can
you
hear each
can-
other.
Let me switch speakers real quick.
Okay.
See if it's a speaker issue.
Oh, thanks, Jen, for writing. That's clever.
Okay, try that.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, we're back
Oh.
on.
Good. Because I did want to mention, Tyler, that graduation season's coming along.
Yeah.
So if
That's
you
not
would
too
like
bad.
us to record the high school graduations, they're typically very popular, especially Sealy, because it's up there and people, relatives and friends have a hard time getting to Sealy's commencement ceremonies. So when we live streamed it last year, number one, it worked, which was a small miracle. And number two, there were tons of gratitudinal outpourings of, people that couldn't make it to see it.
Yes,
And
I
then-
think that would be fabulous. There's also families that can't make it to 2 graduations in 2 different schools at
Yeah,
once, which happens
yeah.
with anything.
So-
So I appreciate that opportunity too.
If you think of it, just go to mcat.org, and fill out it says on the first page, request a recording. So you just fill that out with the who, what, where, and when.
For each
So, I mean,
graduations.
Yeah, we'll be ready. I mean, it's just like a seasonal muscle, like the coming of the lilac blossom comes the high school graduation.
So it looks like Lisa is trying to connect, and we should see Allison too
This
From
is
shortly.
her
Lisa, I'm here.
car.
Hey, Lisa.
How you doing?
Hey, Lisa.
Hi.
Well, let's see. And I know Allison's probably in transit right now. I think she mentioned she was going to be calling in from her car, but we are at 16:03. I'll just go ahead and pull up my agenda over here, and I might just get us started. Does that work for everyone?
Sure.
Wonderful. And with that, I'll take my rubber mallet and get us in. I call this meeting of MCTAC to order on Monday at 16:03 on April 18th, 2022. Let's see. Just by way of opening remarks and introductions, I don't think anyone here is new to us, but I do just want to make a brief announcement. Just with regards to confirming the meeting, if we could have confirmations for meeting attendance in the week prior to the meeting, that'd be helpful, because we have some flexibility about when we meet throughout the year. We aren't required to meet every month, but we just want to make sure that we're respectful of the encoder and scheduling for some of that with some of the staff that goes on. So I'm glad to have you all here. Moving on to review and approval of the minutes. Everyone get a chance to look over the minutes from February? Fantastic. I apologize. I'm not quite certain. Are we at quorum right now with the 5 of us? Can we go ahead and approve those, do we think?
Yes, we're ready to go.
Wonderful. I'll entertain that motion to approve those minutes.
This is Lisa. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the February 14th, 2022 MCTAC minutes.
Wonderful. Do I have a second?
Hold a second.
All right, great. And wonderful. And I'll just go ahead and call unanimous consent on that. So without any discussion or objection, we'll approve those minutes from February. Wonderful. Moving us into line 3, public comment. Do we have any public comment today?
Our favorite public, Mike Painter, could not make it today.
Terrible. And to think that I even have a reserve Mike Painter at the university that I could have brought in.
Yes, and just a side note, Mike fulfilled a term as board member of MCAT. So he went off the board, partly because his wife retired and they want to travel, but his term concluded. So when he comes, he'll be like super public, not an MCAT board member.
Well, that's good to know. Please pass it along that we'd love to have Mike here in any event. And certainly for the MCAT board proper, anytime that they want to join us and have anything they want to relay over, we're always happy to have them. If not, Joel, you're my favorite middleman.
Thank you very much.
Just an update about the city council appointee should be through the process by our next meeting. They do have someone.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice.
Do we have a sense of who that might be at this point, or?
I don't. I did not have a chance to look at her application. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not really sure her, his, her, theirs. So we'll just have to meet them when we meet them.
Well, something to look forward to for the month of May. Wonderful. All right, moving on ahead to line 4, old and continuing business. Everyone get a chance to look over that programming schedule that was recorded? Wonderful. And Joel, do you want to give us any update on anything that that y'all have been up to over at MCAT?
Yes, I'll walk you through the document I sent out earlier today, which is just, our follow-up minutes and what MCAT's been up to. So we were able to do 2 Wednesdays with the mayor, one in February, another in March. And we were able to, as we've done the last 12 years, record and distribute the state of the Missoula community, which was the topic for City Club. And we also sent an operative to the senior center to record the open house for the Brooks to Broadway Higgins corridor plan. They had an open house a couple of Fridays ago. And then here at the library, we continue giving them our fullest attention with their Tiny Tales story time. We also are continuing the series on community cooking. And that included 2 items, the power of purple, no, 3. Power of purple in your diet, eat your weeds. And the county commissioners came and did a farm to table. I think they cooked up something Dave shot. And that was cooking with your commissioners, like an elk or a deer in the wrong place at the wrong time. What else? I'm doing the weekly guide to programs and events here at the library with Pam Carlton of Youth Services. We also made a recording of the Rocky Mountain School of Photography's photography basics. So people that couldn't attend, could look on YouTube or on the Facebook where we sent it first. The health department, we did a campaign for the week of the young child. So that was through the Healthy Start division. I did an interview with a couple of people, and then we also did the award recognition of early childhood champions, which they did for the week. So the various outfits in town that are concerned with child developmental psychology or physical health and so on, they all got little awards through the week of the young child. And we're slated to do the law enforcement memorial service as we do every year in May at the Rose Garden Park. Then for Missoula County, we continue to do the virtual town hall of community councils. And we're continuing to do their weekly podcast, The Tip of the Spear. Ron has just about finished up the election judges training videos for the election office. And the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula has us down for forestry days, the first time in 2 years they've been able to do that. Oh, and for fun, I was on a panel for the Davidson Honors College with Ginny Merriam. We went up Thursday. They, under their Quest program, and the Quest program sends those Davidson Honors College students into some real life adventures in the community. And so they were researching improving communication for the city of Missoula. And there were 5 teams that gave presentations. That was really to do. I'm glad they invited me. And they won't have me back, but it was good to go the first time. Mansfield Center, we're doing their first takes. There was Russia and Ukraine, also fostering freedom at home and abroad. For the College of Arts and Media, we did Odyssey of the Stars, and that was honoring actress Dale Raoul. And that was very sweet. The lady who's the dean of the college now did a kind of like a stunt, right? So at the beginning, she said, oh, and MCAT's here to stream and record the event. And then she named the people of the MCAT staff, all 5 of us that are alumni of the University of Montana. And she said, I don't know if people, believe this or not, but she said, so you see what happens if you go to school here, the heights that you can attain in later life. Anyway, for Spectrum, we did another installment of their Fostering Diversity training series. For the Living Lab, we did a presentation they put together called Exploring the Social Brain. For the School of Journalism, we recorded Indian Country editor Mark Trahant's Dean Stone lecture and then subsequent award the next night. For Missoula County Public Schools, we were able to do a candidates forum up in the Cooper room, and that's very popular on the Facebook. So we were glad. That was organized, I think, by Missoula County Democrats. And of course, school board meetings for Hellgate and Sentinel. We're going to do a Hellgate Sentinel Orchestra program. They're going to do it at Hellgate School. And we're running an MCAT agent for the flagship after school program at Meadow Hill and Hellgate High School for media stuff. And then moving quickly through Missoula community, we did stuff for Five Valley Seed Library, Bonner Milltown History Center, Missoula Downtown Association, Montech, Humanities Montana, Empower Montana, their Diversity Day 2022, Travelers Rest, Eleanor's Project. Oh yeah, I guess we're doing also a congressional candidate forum with Monica Trenel, Cora Newman, Tom Winter. Missoula Organization of Realtors is going to do a Five Valleys housing report that we're going to stream for them. Habitat for Humanity did a dedication for the Bird family in East Missoula, and thanks to Nevin, I knew about it because you did something, you told me about it. Very important constitutional convention celebration. So Manon Ellingson, as many of you may know, was one of the few women that were working on that constitutional convention in 1972. And of course, she's one of the few survivors from that 50-year ago event. So they're going to do a deal, she and Anthony Johnstone at Law School, celebrating the Montana Constitutional Convention of 1972. A similar event was held in Helena. Helena Civic Television did that and gave us their version of what went on there. And then we're going to do for the Chamber of Commerce a State of Missoula annual address entitled Working Together for Missoula. So that should keep us busy till May. I know I just saw that come in was a request for us to do the hooding ceremony for the law school at university this year. And these graduation ceremonies, tiresome as they may be to the non-involved, really are very, very popular with a narrow group of audiences that want to be there, and for whatever reason, they can't, for distance or overcommitment and what have you. So that's my report.
Wonderful. Thanks to you and your team for getting all that done. And I did get to go to that home dedication. It was we had really good turnout for that, in fact, and the home was just gorgeous. And I know next month, in fact, there's the adjacent house, which was built with insulated concrete forms, going to have that home dedication. So I'd encourage all of y'all to be there as well. And Habitat will probably send you another request on that one. Any questions
Great.
on anything else MCAT got
Hey,
up?
Natalie, can I ask Joel a question?
Sure, by all means.
Hey, Joel, that Constitutional Convention celebration with Maine Ann and Anthony Johnstone, do you remember the date on that?
Ooh, no, I'm going to look it up though.
Okay, thanks.
Wonderful. Any other questions on what MCAT's been up to these and what they've got up ahead? Seeing none, I'll just move us into 4.2, events for MCAT to record or televise. Anyone got anything exciting coming up on their calendars? Glad that we got a flag on graduation season. That's going to be exciting. Anything else coming up for anyone? Daniel, by all means.
Yeah, I was just curious. I just remember watching city council before the pandemic. I think it's because somebody from MCAT was there in person, but I was just curious if we're ever going to go back to that model, just because it was kind of nice, to be able to see people that were public commenting and stuff. And then right now we just all have our computers on Zoom. So it's a little bit silly, but
I know.
I was just
mean,
curious.
I don't know. No one has mentioned to me when or if, under what conditions we're coming back, So
I have a little bit of inside information.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're doing, since the courtroom has now set up shop in the city council chambers, I think we're looking at May to see if we can start having some committee meetings in that room, but it won't be until chambers is no longer occupied by the municipal court. So, and then I think at that time, they're gonna look at board and commission meetings too, but they're still working out a lot of bugs with that, if that helps.
It does help. Because I'm a little anxious about it because we have to send the signal from there to us via the internet. And we haven't had an opportunity to even test that.
Well, once we're able to get you back in the space, we're looking forward to that. Yeah, so I believe if that answers the question, hopefully we'll be getting back to that televised model at some point in the coming months. Anything else that folks have coming up for MCAT to record or televise?
Joel, the KIO powwow returns to campus this weekend in person. I don't know if you guys have historically covered any of that.
We have off and on done it. You know, sometimes I would ask someone to fill out a request form, and sometimes they would, and sometimes they wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I guess we could pop up there. I mean, I'm well aware of it, you know, coming back, but I didn't think to pester anyone. You know, maybe I should just you know, for the day or something.
Yeah. Let me dig up the contact info on that, and I'll share it with
Okay.
you in the chat.
Okay.
Wonderful. I'm glad we're getting that back. So yeah,
are too.
anything else before we move forward? Seeing none, moving into new business. I don't believe we have any new business to consider unless someone has something that they need to bring up for us to consider in that realm.
Hey, Nevin, this is Lisa. I don't know if this is the appropriate spot, but, and maybe it's not even correct, but I've just been seeing in the news about the new cable franchise that's coming in, and I'm wondering if that has anything to do with what we're doing, Joel, or is that like totally not in line with anything we care about?
Well, I don't mind chatting about it a little. Like in the past, I've always had to check myself because it's an ongoing negotiation. So the city is negotiating with the company called TDS. And I'd had several meetings, thanks to Jim Nugent, including me. A lot of the meetings had to do with, you know, the particularities of digging up the ground in the city. In the case of TDS, I could tell you this. They plan to put in fiber cable infrastructure right to the homes of people. So people say, well, why is there, you know, years and years later, why is someone coming in with a cable franchise? And that surprised me. But what I understood was the corpus of law that allows a private company to dig in the public right of way in this manner is a cable franchise. It's the most comprehensive instrument available. So you might say, well, not so many people are interested in cable like they were in the 90s. Yes, but the only way municipalities can talk to corporations about digging up the public right of way the most efficiently is to use the cable franchise model. So obviously, they've talked about it and talked about it. The city has had a long relationship with an attorney who lives in Minneapolis and works for a company called Moss and Barnett. And this fella, Brian Grogan, he was hired in 2002 to help me and Jim Nugent argue a cable franchise with the Charter Spectrum people, which was, it was a different company back then. In any event, Brian Grogan has been asked again to help with the TDS franchise agreement. I could tell you this, from the perspective of public access, they've been very nice. They've been very inclusive. They've been very enthusiastic about public access. And There's a draft floating about. Latest draft is about a week old. And I guess it's waiting on different people like city council people and senior leadership team at city, to review it and look at it and give an impression to Jim Nugent and his assistant in this matter, consultant in this matter, Brian Grogan, who's a telecommunications attorney expert kind of guy. What else about it? What else about it? Well, they want to do this fiber thing right to the home. So they're pretty unique in that way. The other operators do not use a fiber cable to the home. They use like a coaxial cable made of, like copper and plastic. And it's that type of cable is fast, but it's not going to be as fast as TDS. So one of TDS's, they say, well, what you going to do? There's already a bunch of cable companies here, a bunch of internet companies. They said, we're going to offer really fast speeds, and they're going to offer them symmetrically up and down. So for a lot of people, if you do like a speed test on your internet, you'll find that the speed downloading stuff is a lot faster than uploading stuff, because most people don't want to upload stuff until there's a pandemic and they want to go to a Zoom meeting and not be like a frazzled creature cutting in and out. Or they want to be able to upload files, if not a live image of themselves talking, gesticulating. So that's where the upload will become really attractive to people. They'll see, as taught a cruel lesson by the pandemic, that this sort of telecommunication, while not ideal, is functional. And they'll be very interested, they think, in the upload speeds that are going to be offered by this company, TDS. I could tell you that the build out is going to be like 3 years for them to do all this, and I could tell you that they will, give revenue just as Charter does to the city of Missoula, to the county. You may have seen in the news recently that the county has started to talk franchise to TDS. And then eventually some of that money will come to help MCAT's operation. But we're looking at, a 2 to 3 year return to have more money to do more of this noble work we're engaged in at this very moment.
Well, Joel, thank you for the update on that. And Lisa, thank you for the question. I know we've talked about the TDS Metrocom expansion in prior months, and it's something that with regards to MCAT potentially later on down the line receiving more resources, it's something that I'm keenly interested in. So thank you again for bringing that up. Unless there's anything else, we do not have a member of the MCAT board with us today due to the expiration of Mike Painter's term and the breaking of my heart associated with it. We have held no agenda items. And the last thing that I would note is the date of our next meeting in May. That's going to be changed to Monday, the 23rd of May at 4 p.m. due to a citywide board training using the encoder on May 16th. Just wanted to give you an update on that. Does anyone else
Timing for that next meeting, 4 o'clock as well?
Yes, it would be. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
Oh, sure thing.
If
Wow.
anybody needs more information about the board training, I did send it to you once, but just let me know.
Thank you for that, Heidi. So with that, does anyone else have anything for the good of the order? Going once, going twice. And with that, it is 16:25 on a gorgeous spring afternoon in Missoula County. It is 50 degrees where I am, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn so I can go out on the river.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. That's where I'm headed to.
Thank you, Jen. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, thank you for that, Allison. I'll just call for unanimous consent. And so without discussion or objection, seeing none, I will bang this rubber mallet on my desk again and release you all to a gorgeous spring afternoon. Thank you all for being here, folks.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I'll see you
Safe
soon.
out there.